Sekhmet, the lioness of war and healing, was a goddess who demanded both ferocity and balance. To honor her, her priests, among the most powerful in ancient Egypt, performed secret rituals that combined medicine, magic, and devotion. These rituals were not only meant to appease Sekhmet's wrath, but also to heal the sick, protect warriors, and purify the land after times of bloodshed. Only those chosen and trained in her ways could perform these sacred rites. 1. The 77 Names of Sekhmet. Ritual Sekhmet was believed to have 77 secret names, each representing a different aspect of her power. During healing ceremonies, priests would recite all 77 names, invoking her as a goddess of medicine and protection rather than destruction. Each name carried a specific power. Some were meant to heal disease, others to protect against evil spirits, and some even to grant strength to warriors. By the end of the incantation, the priest had transformed the raging lioness into a benevolent protector. If the names were spoken incorrectly, it was believed Sekhmet would turn her wrath upon the priest himself. 2. The Plague Banishing Ritual. Since Sekhmet was both bringer and healer of disease, her priests were also known as divine physicians. Whenever a plague or illness swept through Egypt, her priests would gather in her temples to perform a sacred healing ritual. They burned incense made from myrrh and frankincense, calling upon Sekhmet to cleanse the air of sickness. Medicinal herbs were ground into pastes and potions, infused with spells invoking her power. Statues of Sekhmet were anointed with sacred oils, a plea for her mercy to spare the people. If the plague continued, greater offerings were made, sometimes even involving symbolic animal sacrifices, such as a lion or a bull, to satisfy Sekhmet's hunger and calm her fury. 3. The Bloodlust Purification Ritual. Egyptian warriors prayed to Sekhmet for strength in battle, but after war, her priests had to purge them of her bloodlust, lest her rage consume them forever. After battles, warriors were brought to Sekhmet's temple, where they were ritually washed in sacred water, symbolizing the cleansing of bloodshed. A flame was lit at her altar, and warriors would burn a piece of their armor or weapon to symbolize the end of the fight. They drank red beer, like in the festival of drunkenness, to calm their spirits, just as it once calmed Sekhmet herself. If a warrior refused purification, it was believed he would become cursed with unending rage, madness, or disease, a fate worse than death. 4. The New Year's Pacification of Sekhmet Ritual. At the dawn of each Egyptian New Year, priests of Sekhmet performed a powerful, sacred ritual to ensure that the coming year would be one of health, prosperity, and peace. Since the Nile's floods came at this time, the Egyptians feared that Sekhmet might see the chaos of the waters as a sign to unleash her wrath once more. Priests prepared thousands of jugs of beer, dyed red with ochre, mimicking the trick that once calmed her fury. Sacred chants, music, and dance filled her temples as people prayed for her to remain a protector, not a destroyer. This festival was one of the wildest celebrations in Egypt, where both priests and common people joined in drinking, dancing, and rejoicing. If Sekhmet was pleased, the year would bring health and strength. If not, plagues, war, or drought could strike. 5. The Eye of Ra Ritual. Calling upon her wrath. Not all of Sekhmet's rituals were meant to calm her. Sometimes the priests had to summon her fury. If Egypt was threatened by enemies, or if a great injustice needed avenging, priests would call upon Sekhmet's warlike side. They dressed in lion skins and painted their faces with red ochre, mimicking the goddess herself. They recited ancient war hymns, invoking her as the Eye of Ra, the fiery warrior of the gods. A warrior or pharaoh would offer blood, sometimes animal sacrifice, at her altar, asking for her divine strength in battle. After the war, the bloodlust purification ritual had to be performed, lest Sekhmet's rage continue unchecked. The priests of Sekhmet were both healers and warriors, holding the power to bring life or destruction. If Sekhmet's fury was left unchecked, plagues, madness, and war would spread. If she was properly honored, She would protect, heal, and bring strength to Egypt. To worship Sekhmet was to walk a dangerous path, for she was a goddess who could turn from protector to destroyer in an instant. And only those who truly understood her dual nature could wield her power without being consumed by it.